Immigrants explain why they're leaving Canada. Why? Well, again, since 1993, Canada has been on a downhill decline. So, immigrants to Canada are increasingly leaving this country for opportunities elsewhere, according to a study conducted by the Institute for Canadian Citizenship and the Conference Board of Canada. In fact, the number of immigrants who left Canada rose 31% above the national average in 2017 and 2019. Right? Factors that influence onward migration include economic integration, a sense of belonging, racism, home ownership, lack thereof, and economic opportunities in other countries, the report revealed. Amid a crunch of affordable housing and other services, Immigration Minister Mark Miller announced on November 1st that the federal government intends to maintain its target, admitting 500,000 new permanent residents in 2026. Now, Canada already pulled something like this in the back ends, or and we covered this multiple times, so I kind of want to bring this up again. And that number of 500,000, so this doesn't count towards immigration. So if you go on Immigration Stats Canada, you'll get a different number. But since this is from 2016, and we covered this on the channel, Canada wants more Chinese workers, students, tourists, and immigration minister. So this was a ploy to bring in more Chinese money to Toronto and Vancouver, right there, and bringing in 500,000 per year. And opening more visa offices will help Canada compete for Chinese workers, students, and lucrative tourist businesses. And Canada was basically deporting the Portuguese out the back door because they built the infrastructure, and bringing in Chinese to come and live in the infrastructure. And that's 500,000 per year, and it's all about the money, because they spend a lot of money. It says right here. They spend a lot of money, and that's how our housing market has been going all these years. And this has become a major problem for Canada and the Canadian proper, because the Canadian proper has to deal with artificial shortages. When you leave all these homes empty, you create these artificial shortages where people that own homes become wealthy on paper, but the people that want to get into a house and live a normal life and go to their work won't be allowed to get in because it's just unobtainable. And housing's been out of reach in Canada pretty much since 2012. So the price of housing during the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver, we were supposed to see a correction. We never did. Instead, they opened the floodgates and let in foreign money, and our GDP was propped by money laundering. And money laundering is basically why my channel on all platforms have been shadow banned. And then once you connect the money laundering to Chinese gangs and fentanyl, that is actually monitored by the Chinese Communist government, with factories in China producing dangerous opioids and drugs that are wiping out Canadian youth across Canada. And it's something we've been extremely vocal about. We used to walk up and down tent cities and on downtown Lower East Side Vancouver, filming for you guys back in 2012, 13, 14, and 15, and 16, until I left Vancouver. Because I was not going to pay $3 million for a house that I could realistically buy in Alabama or a decent part of Florida for 40 grand. Yeah, the same house that they were selling in Vancouver is 40 grand in Florida. So that's the problem. Wages and incomes have never kept up with money. Our wages and incomes in Canada have never kept up with the money laundering. And that's why we have this prop GDP on housing, and that's why we are in the position we are in today. And that's why people cannot afford to live or be part of the Canadian society anymore, because Canada was an idea, and that's that, folks. I just wanted to kind of give my spiel on that here for you guys.